Rocky, talk about the victory. I mean, you got sunk in the rear naked choke. Did this fight go how you expected it to?
You know, it didn't exactly go exactly how I expected to. I mean, it's a fight. You can't really say how it's going to go. I thought that it would end a lot more with my hands. The weight cut was pretty draining for me yesterday, though, so that played a big part tonight. But, I mean, it's MMA. I train all around. So just as my last fight with Ashley Evans-Smith, I mean, there was another submission.
You talk about the weight cut being a drain on you. Did that create a sense of urgency, knowing that your conditioning might not have been there for 3 rounds?
You know, when it comes to that part, I mean, your body's going to get drained. This is a crazy physical sport, but it's where it comes from in here. It takes a lot of heart in the sport and everything, and I think that's what played a big part for me tonight. You know, I mean, I went to desperate measures yesterday. I chopped off some of my hair for weight. I did all kinds of stuff. It's just I put on too much muscle when it came to since my fight with Holly Holm, and tonight it was just, I mean, digging deep.
She had you in a couple of guillotines attempts there. Were any of them tight at all?
None were too tight. I mean, I train a lot with the guys, and they try to crank my head off. So, I mean, going against a female strength, it was a lot. I could breathe a little bit better. So I wasn't in no danger, really. I felt like it was more chance, as much as crazy as it may sound, I'm in a choke, but it was a rest period for me for a second.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Is it true that was a pretty creepy happy birthday? Is it true that you told Sean Shelby that you wanted to fight on this card because it's your birthday? There was a chance that you might have to, get pushed because of the change in opponent. Why did you really want to fight on your birthday?
You know, there was a lot of reasons. For one, I mean, when is it that a UFC card lands on your birthday? So that was a huge reason for me. Also, this was actually the first opportunity that my dad got to come watch me. I've played in hundreds of sports, lots of competition, and he has never seen me. So he was actually making his way up here. He already bought his ticket for that, so I was really pushing to stay on the card. And then on top of that, I mean, it's been 6 months. I wanted to get back in the cage, and it was also like a really special moment for me. I had a friend that just passed away, so a bunch of memorial stuff was happening for him, and tonight was definitely dedicated to him.
So did your dad make it to the fight?
He did. He's out in the stands.
And how come this is the first time in all your years of competing that he's ever watched you compete?
You know, I mean, I think there was just a lot to it. He wasn't really raised too much family oriented, and then just having the kids, he leaned a little more towards my brother. But in his older age, I think he's starting to realize a lot more, and so he kind of just changed his ways, and at the end of the day, he's still my dad. And when he made the change and decided to come up here, I mean, it really put a drive for me.
Knowing that he was here, were you more nervous, more emotional going into the fight? Were you thinking about him in there?
Tonight was just emotional in general. I try not to focus on what's going on outside of the cage once it's time for me to step foot in there. But, I mean, things do happen, and like I said, I think the only thing that really popped into my mind was having to find that heart, having to find that drive, just because of the way that the weight cut took a toll on me.
How much did you have to cut from your hair?
I cut about 2.5 inches off. It was desperate measures, and I was stuck at 137.8. We were trying for 3 hours for those last pound, 0.8 ounces. So I got in the shower, and I was supposed to be down ready for the bus, and I just told my mom to find some scissors and chop it off.
Wow. And how much did that weigh? Do you have any idea?
Weighed a pound. So then I had to work for a 0.8.
I just had another question, if you don't mind. What happened to your friend who passed away?
He passed away in his sleep.
Oh.
Yeah. Just
natural causes?
Yeah. You know, it was something to do with his heart, and so he was really young. He was only 34, and I met him the very first time that I faced off with Jessica, and we just became really good friends. We'd go to all the UFCs together, just kind of meet up in Vegas, and just had a lot of fun. And then one day, it was really crazy because 2 days prior, we were talking about our birthdays. His birthday was a week ago, so we were like, we're going to come out to this card, and we're going to have fun. I didn't think I'd get on the card, so we just kind of planned it as a birthday weekend. And 2 days after that, I got a phone call that he passed away in his sleep.
So then, with all that, all the emotion, how satisfying is this victory? Is this the most important victory of your career?
You know, it's very important to me for all the reasons that I definitely just listed. But just in general, I mean, I feel like a lot of the fights that I've already been in, especially the ones that have gone to decision, one thing that I really proved tonight was the fact that no more judges. I don't see any more judges in my future bouts. And, you know, it was the start of my revenge tour. Jessica was the first person, and I look forward to facing the rest. So, I mean, to get an awesome victory like tonight, especially against one of the girls that was in that revenge tour, I mean, it's very satisfying.
So would that revenge tour mean Holly Holm's next on that list?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've faced Holly Holm, I've faced Kat Zingano, I've faced Leslie Smith. All those girls that I have lost to, either a decision. Kat, she was the first girl to ever submit me. So they're definitely, that's kind of my way to turn around my career. I mean, I have a record that's 6-6 now, and I think a lot of those losses, I beat myself before I even walked into that cage. So I definitely want to show the fighter that I really am, and I plan to turn it around.
How big a deal is to move up the rankings?
You know, it's exciting. It's something that I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to. I mean, I feel like there's things within myself, inside myself as an athlete and as a fighter that I have to prove to myself. And the rankings, I think, are just, I kind of see it as politics in that area. I'm the one that kind of ranks myself and where I'm going to be. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still exciting to move up.
And switching gears, how do you think Holly's going to stack up with Ronda and that big card with you being in the cage with her? Uh-oh.
You know, I mean, I wish both fighters the best of luck. I don't think it's right that Holly just walked right into the UFC and hasn't really faced a whole lot of talent here on the UFC level. And then she right away jumped to the title shot. But like I said, politics, so everybody's getting what they want.
The fact that you dropped her, do you think Ronda could drop her? Was you being familiar with her from the show and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fight. Anything can happen. And I think Ronda's a very talented fighter, and I think she's going to bring it to Holly.
Raquel, a lot of people are going to call this an upset. This is a gambling town. We talk odds all the time. Were you aware that you were a 2.5 to 1 underdog, and did that motivate you? Or?
You know, I don't really pay attention to any of that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're fighters. We come in here. This is our job. I just have a passion for the sport, and this is what I come to do. I don't really care when it comes to the bets and how people really view me as a fighter. I know what talent I bring to the table, and like I said, I mean, this was the beginning of the revenge tour to turn things around, and I think those bets will surely change.
Alex Chambers told us that she looked up to you, watched your career, and when she met you for the first time a couple days ago, she was starstruck. She didn't know what to say. From your perspective, what was it like meeting a fellow fighter who held you in such high regard?
You know, I mean, it's inspiring. A lot of people, they may be inspired by me, but I don't think they realize that it definitely motivates me and pushes me to be a better person and a better fighter. So, I mean, especially, there's so many girls out there with so much talent. So to actually get the inputs of other people and how they actually view you as a fighter, I mean, it's really uplifting. And like I said, it's inspiring. It was definitely a pleasure to meet her, and I'm definitely rooting for her.